Every Halloween night in the small town of Darrington, the kids tell the same story. If you carve your jack-o'-lantern after midnight and leave the candle burning until dawn, he'll come. The Pumpkin Man. They say his body is stitched together from rotting vines, and his head is a crooked jack-o'-lantern that glows with fire from the inside. He doesn't knock and he doesn't speak. He just waits outside your window until you look. Now, most folks ignore it. They carve their pumpkins earlier or just don't think about it. But every once in a while, some brave soul or foolish daredevil decides to stay up all night and wait for him. Now, I didn't believe it. Not until last year when my girlfriend dared me to do it. She said if I did, she'd tell me the fortune of my undying love. So what could I do? Right? Here we are then, carving pumpkins in the darkened kitchen at midnight with our breath held, hoping we wouldn't wake our sleeping baby next door. We finished just after the clock struck 12:01. We set the pumpkins on the porch, lit the candles, then huddled back behind the curtains. At first, there was just silence. Then came the sound, like leaves dragging against the pavement. Slow, heavy. My girlfriend grabbed my hand, but before I could peer outside, she stopped me. "Don't," she whispered, her eyes wide. "You don't want to see." I pulled away though, wanting to prove myself, wanting to win her bet. I flung open the door and stepped out onto the porch. Nothing. The pumpkins were gone. I told her, shrugged, and went back inside. I woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of scraping again, this time closer. It sounded like fingernails on glass. I sat up in bed and looked out the window. There was nothing there, just pumpkins. 5 of them lined up neatly on the sidewalk. Each one had a fresh, jagged smile carved into its face. And standing at the very end of the row was one more jack-o'-lantern, a new one, bigger than the rest. Its mouth was stretched too wide. Its candle burned too bright. I told my girlfriend, but she was fast asleep, so I climbed back into bed. I woke up again, this time to silence. The sun was rising now, casting long shadows through the trees. I looked out the window. The pumpkins were gone. And when I stepped outside, I noticed something else. Footprints. They were deep, like the imprint of a heavy boot. And they led away from my house, down the street and around the corner. And then they stopped. Still, I couldn't believe it. I told my girlfriend, who finally woke up, and we followed the tracks, which soon led us to the police station. We stopped outside the door, unsure of what to do. Should we go in? Should we call someone? My girlfriend kicked at a loose stone, sending it skittering across the pavement. Suddenly, the door behind us creaked open, and an officer stepped out. He must have heard us. He looked surprised to see us. "Can I help you?" he asked. We stammered something about footprints, about pumpkins, but he just shook his head and went back inside. And that's when we saw them, the faces carved into the pumpkins, lined up on the windowsills, grinning back at us. I don't know how long we stood there, but eventually the officer came back out. He must have called the others because soon the whole street was lined with cops, and they were pointing their flashlights at the pumpkins, their faces still turned toward us, their candles burning bright. And then one of them spoke, his voice raspy with sleep. "Who wants to see the body count?" We all turned toward the sound. One of the officers held up a sheet, his flashlight revealing 3 pairs of eyes staring back at us. 3 missing persons from last year, each with a name and a date of death. And then he pointed to the biggest pumpkin, the one with the widest smile. "And here's tonight's special guest," he rasped. In the flickering light, I saw my own face carved into the pumpkin, smiling back at me. My breath hitched, and I felt my blood run cold. But it wasn't me who made it to the last page. To hear the tale of those who met the Pumpkin Man, click the link above. Or to see another terrifying story, click the link below.